Hey, folks, we're live. It's time for some NFL picks, and if you're looking, well, I guess over there, and thinking that's not value vinyl, Steve. Well, I got a notice from Steve about 7 o'clock saying that he wasn't feeling well. So we want to say a prayer for him and hope they. I think the family's kind of feeling a little ill, so we'll say a prayer for them and hope Steve gets to feeling better and comes back next week to join me. But in the meantime, back in the I don't know how many pro wrestling fans we've gotten to VC, but back in the day, you remember somebody get whooped, somebody get us come out the next day and say, you know what, I got on the phone and I called somebody. Well, I didn't get on the phone. I got on Facebook Messenger and got my buddy Chris
Hey, buddy.
from Berea, and we went to college together. And let me. Since I've got you here, Chris.
Yeah.
Just for once, I got to get my favorite Chris Powers story told.
Do it, man.
So it was. I guess we were juniors or seniors, probably juniors.
Yeah, juniors.
And we came back early because you and I were both on staff. And we had some kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it camp, but we had we as staff members, as residence hall monitors, we had to come back early. And I remember coming in and somebody left a letter on my door trash talking my Dolphins. And I forget what you said, but I got my letter and I thought, well, that's funny, and that would come into play later because I can't remember if it was that. I don't think it was that day, but it was sometime soon right after that.
Yep.
I got in trouble. I mean, I was hurting. Little did I know at the time I was having my first kidney stone.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I was dying. The pain just started and kept ramping up and ramping up. And I'm thinking, I'm in trouble. I need to get to the emergency room. So I called my buddy Chris, who's upstairs. And I said, I need to get to the hospital. Or no, I don't think. Did I tell you that at all, or did I just tell you I need you to?
You're in extreme pain, and you said, "Chris, I'm really sick. I need you to come down."
Oh, okay.
And of course, I thought you were setting me up.
Yeah, which was really funny because I'm in my room, trying to lay down on the bed, trying to find any position where I'm not in pain, but I'm not finding it anywhere. And then I look back and I see this head peeking out through my door. And I'm thinking, what the heck, man? What are you doing? I had no idea.
Now, wait a minute, man.
Somebody to jump you.
People need to understand what a jokester you were back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And I thought you were pulling like an old school, like, bucket of water on the door, so I'm like creeping it open and I'm looking around. And of course I felt horrible. You were like in a fetal position on the bed.
Oh man, I was half out of my mind, and I'm looking back and you're like, and I'm thinking, in my mind I'm like, what is this dude doing?
Yeah.
And then I remember you walking me out to the, I guess you got the keys to the head resident's car.
Yep.
And you're walking me out there, and I can remember you said, man, do you want me to pray for you? Or no, you said, do you want to pray? And I said, dude, you're going to have to pray for me. I had no idea that a kidney stone would hurt that bad.
Oh, man. We're laughing about it now, but you were in a lot of pain. And I hear that it is very painful.
Oh my gosh. And what was funny was what I remember is we walked into the emergency room and no. We walked in the emergency room and I told the lady I was in extreme pain and I pointed to where it was and they were like, yeah, it's kidney stone. That's how quick they knew. And I think, did I have to get you to help me assemble the little urine specimen cup?
Oh, yeah.
That
All
they
that.
handed me?
The whole thing.
I was
That's how you know I love you, brother.
because I was in so much pain, I literally could not think.
Yeah.
I could not concentrate enough to assemble even the simplest thing. I mean,
Yep.
it was brutal.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the funny part, the bit with Joseph later?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay, so you remember they pumped me up with? Did they pump me with morphine that night?
Yeah, they pumped you with something good because after a while you were not in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it mellowed me right out, and
Yeah.
but they had me scared. I knew they gave me a strainer so that I could catch that stone when I went to the bathroom, and so yeah, and so I had that extra bed in my room, so I asked Joseph just to sleep in the other bed just in case, because I was thinking, I'm on some pretty powerful meds. I don't
Sure.
And so I woke up and had to go, and Joseph got up and walked down the hallway, and I went in the bathroom down there. This is on the basement of Kentucky Hall. And
Right.
there was a dude in the shower.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking about it. So I went ahead and I saw what I think was the stone in the bottom of the strainer. And I got so excited. And of course, Joseph's standing outside the door. So you have to imagine I'm standing at the urinal and I'm yelling, Joseph, come here. Look at this. Look at this.
Dude in the shower's probably like, what?
And he's whirling around in there going, Dale, shut up. Shut up. Oh, my goodness. It's funny now. It's funny now.
Oh, yeah, it's funny now. Not when you go through it, brother.
Oh, no, and I've had several since then. I've had lithotripsy and it's always brutal. I've had to wait to get. It always kills me. It's like somebody help me get some medicine because when that thing is moving through you, it will absolutely tear you apart.
I hope I never have one.
Yeah. So it's pretty rough. But I always think about that night, and at least I got a good story out of it. If nothing else, if I had to go through all that pain, at least I got a good story out of it.
You got a good story out of it, man, for sure.
But okay, so before we get into the games, just a couple announcements. We haven't got anybody in the room yet, but there'll be people watching this on playback. I want you to kind of know what's going on the channel. We've got Mandy Morelli and I have the type 1 diabetes awareness contest going on, and got 3 entries so far. Pretty excited about it, and we're still early. There's the contest will run through the 29th, hopefully with the drawing on the 30th, and there's a live stream that explains all the rules, but the prizes are pretty swell. $50 cash, 2 books off of the Academy Arts Press website, which is one that's run by Mandy and her husband, and then also Vin, her husband, who is a member of the Kentucky TV and Film Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Went in with Jim Varney.
Wow.
Ernest.
Yeah, Ernest, for sure.
And anyway, he's chipping in either an acting or screenwriting session, free session. So that's a pretty good contest winnings. So
Heck yeah.
we're looking forward to getting more entries and spreading awareness. And also want to give a shout out to Elliot Cruz, who gave us an entry today, the Lazy Dog Records. He's having a contest called KISS, Keep It Simple, Stupid. And I can't remember the rules, but he's the prize there, and I'll be entering that contest. Is he'll be giving $75 to a charity of your choice. And so I think that's really cool. So we need to support Elliot Cruz in that. And so I think any other announcements? Well, Mandy is going to be out of town this week, so we will not be doing the film live stream on Wednesday. We will come back the following Wednesday with the movie. Oh, we're doing Harvey, the Jimmy Stewart classic. And I'm pretty excited about that. So that's what we've got going on here, and what other various music, vinyl-related videos I get around to making in between now and then. We'll have those as well. But we are here to talk some football tonight, and so we're going to get right into it. Last week, let's see here. Let me pull up the Yahoo. I tell you what, I wish Yahoo would make their stuff a little easier to get to. Let me see if I can find my picks. See how I'm doing. Because I keep up with them from our little deal. Here we go. Except I clicked on the wrong thing. Really? Okay, so we got so right now my record on the season is 73 and 46.
Not bad.
Ken is about 10 games ahead of me on that, but I somehow am still ahead of him, I think, from the confidence points. So that's kind of odd, but yeah, we'll go ahead and pull that up. I got a couple different screens up here. Let's look at the first game that they've got listed. Oh, well, Thursday night. We got to talk about what happened Thursday night. I feel so bad for the 49ers.
Yeah.
I didn't find out. I wish I had known. I would have put more confidence points on the game if I had known what the circumstances were. But they got hit. What did they have? 8 or 9 people on offense that were out due to COVID?
Correct. And they're already injury-ridden anyway on the defensive side. So that just even depleted them more.
Yeah, so as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, man, the Packers are going to kill them. And that's exactly what the Packers did. They just beat the dog do out of them. 34-17?
Yep, 34-17. Aaron Rodgers was on fire.
Yeah.
He was on. You can't bet against that dude when he's healthy.
No. And he is balling out this year.
He is.
You think that maybe them drafting Jordan Love in the first round this year kind of irked them?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe you got a little bit of the old man syndrome, like, all right, they're trying to put me out to pasture. Let's go. Let's ball.
Yeah. Because we discussed this that pick a lot, and it just never made sense to me. If you've got somebody like Aaron Rodgers, why aren't you getting him weapons?
Sure.
Could have been drafting a wide receiver, tight end, running back, somebody.
Oh yeah.
That's going to help him out, because they made the conference championship last year. But other than the wide receiver, Devontae Adams, right?
Yep. Devontae Adams. Yep.
Except for him, who else did he have to throw to?
Yeah.
You know,
Nobody
so-
at that skill level for sure.
But then you come around the next draft and take another quarterback, first round. Oh, just mystifying.
Oh yeah.
But now we got to wonder if the 49ers can come back, or are they done? I got a feeling they're kind of done, just because they're in a hard division. They're
Yes.
at the bottom of it,
Yep.
and they're just not getting the breaks this year.
I just think with their injuries on defense, I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, because they're not way back, but they're 2 games. Well, they're 4-5, whereas the Seahawks are 6-1.
Yeah.
Is that right? They played 9 games to 7 for the Seahawks.
Yes.
Maybe they've got a bye week coming up.
Yeah.
Kind of even that out. So, but yeah, in the way Russell Wilson, I don't. The Rams need to get in gear if they're going to keep up with
Right.
the Seahawks. I don't know if the Cardinals can do it. I don't know if they've shown me enough consistently that they can do it. But so the first game tomorrow is the Texans at the Jaguars. Probably one of the most who cares games
Right.
tomorrow. Both are miserable teams. Who do you got?
I got the Texans. I think that's an easy pick, even though they're going to the Jags. I just think overall they're a better team on both sides of the ball, and even their special teams.
I picked Jacksonville,
There you go.
but I don't know how great that is, and as far as in-depth analysis goes. Part of my hope, I guess, I hope that isn't just wishful thinking on my part, because we've got the Houston Texans #1 pick next year.
Right.
Well, I want them to get beat.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jaguars are plucky. They're playing at home, and you got the legend of Gardner Minshew that's getting beat up each and every week. But it's,
Man,
as long as he's got the stash, I guess there's hope.
I guess so. Getting beat up like poor Joe Burrow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we're looking at. I'm thinking that probably you're the one that's going to be right on that game, but I am picking the Jags. We got another nail biter. Giants at Washington.
Jeez, oh Pete. The NFC East is just horrific this year, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's rough. Because, historically that's usually been a tough division, but man, from top to bottom, I'm not for sure.
Well, everyone in that division has a Super Bowl championship at some point.
Right.
And the Cowboys and Giants and even the Redskins are multiple time winners.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's always been a tough division, but boy, it sure stinks this year. Who did I even pick? And I'm sure I picked Washington.
Yeah,
Partly
it's a home game for Washington. That's who I picked.
Yeah, and they can play tough at times. I don't know that I didn't put a lot of confidence points on that game either.
No.
But they've got some pieces if they can put them together. I would take. I like that kid Chase Young.
Oh yeah, Ohio State product. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a good one, man.
I like those ever since the days of Jason Taylor. I like those the speed rushing defensive ends, and I mean I was never usually with Miami I'd be ready for offense and let's watch Dan throw that ball, but then as Dan retired and Jason and Zach were still there, to watch Jason come off that end, and how many times did he fly around that tackle, get those long arms out there,
Oh,
and
man.
swat balls out of quarterbacks' hands?
Heck yeah.
I love to watch him play.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved Cam Wake when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And even from the line, because I don't know, is there really a huge difference between speed rushing defensive end and the speed rushing outside linebacker?
No, not too much. You're just coming from a different angle. One's more from a standing position, and the D end is, from a 3-point stance normally.
Yeah, and I kind of like that speed rushing linebacker too, like a LT or a Derek Thomas or somebody like that.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, so that's why I kind of watching Chase Young, because I mean he reminds me a little bit of Taylor in that he's a kind of probably looks a little undersized, just but he's a physical specimen and speed to burn, So now we got the Ravens at the Colts.
See who I have?
I know I've got the Ravens.
Oh yeah, I do too.
But I don't know. Sometimes I worry about the Ravens because I really, in my mind, have had them as being like the number 2 team in the AFC up until last week, really, in my mind, but they've given up. They had the Chiefs and the Steelers at home and couldn't beat either one of them.
Right.
And I'm thinking at some point I could understand dropping one of those games, but if you're going to make a real run at the World Championship, don't you have to win one of them?
Yeah, you've got to do well in your conference and almost win your conference. And when they lost to Pittsburgh, I had the same feeling that you did. Because when that game happened, I'm like, okay, here it is. This is for the AFC North. Because the Bengals aren't going to do anything. The Browns may make a run, but I think it's going to be one of those top 2 teams. But when they lost, I was like, then there's Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really – now my thing is I guess I need to watch the Steelers because I did not think that they were –
I don't think anyone did. They're kind of coming out from like behind the bushes this year, man. Because with Roethlisberger, you didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And again, he's not the Roethlisberger that he was 10 years ago, but he's still slinging it, man. And because I have him in fantasy football, actually. And so I've been watching them more than ever. And their defense is pretty solid. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wasn't expecting that much out of them. Now, I did look at their schedule. I kind of looked at it on the stream last week, and they don't have that hard of a schedule.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe they kind of are going to, if they keep going, they're going to start worrying me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm, as a Dolphin fan, I'm always worried about protecting that perfect season.
Of course. Oh, they won't have a perfect season. Somebody will beat them.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's kind of happened, though. I thought the game that looked the most troublesome for them on their schedule was last week's game in Baltimore.
Right.
But who knows? They do still have to play Baltimore again in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I do know that let's see. We're talking about the Ravens and the Colts.
We'll get to Pittsburgh because they play my Cowboys this week. There'll be plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Indianapolis has surprised me too.
Yeah, they have. They have. I started to, last year I started quit with Phillip Rivers. I kept picking the Chargers, and he never could win anything there. And I quit picking the Chargers, and then he comes to the Colts, and I figure, well, why is he going to win here? He's just older. He's just older, going to throw more interceptions, but the Colts are are still in the thick of things. Let's take a look at their record here. They are 5-2. They're tied with the Titans for first. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. Have you watched them? Do you know what's going on there?
I've only watched them twice this year, not extensively, just flipping back and forth. But, Rivers looking pretty decent this year. So, I think they'll go kind of as he goes if they stay healthy. I mean, their running back's decent. Their O-line's okay. I think if everybody's decent and stays healthy, they should be fine. I think they can beat Tennessee for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think they can. If they can control Henry, which they've got the D-line to do it, my opinion. Full disclosure, my opinion.
Okay. No, we'll take that. I just was using the language control Henry. I keep thinking, did you see what he did to that Bills defensive back a couple weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
Dude's a beat.
Henry in fantasy. I watch him every weekend. But I tell you what, I was shocked. Again, I know we're jumping. We'll get back. But I was shocked how Cincinnati was able to control him.
Oh, yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't expect them to lose that game.
Nope.
But
I've got the Ravens against the Colts. That's who I picked.
Yeah. I can't pick the. I'm just not to the point yet where I'm going to pick the Colts over an elite team like the Ravens. Though,
Sure.
I'm starting to wonder just how elite the Ravens are if they can't start winning some tough games. I mean, They're winning the games they're supposed to win, but then you got to win some you're not supposed to win. Well, I don't know. I mean, I know it's the Chiefs, I know it's the Steelers, but it's your home field. You got to get one of them. I just
have to.
Yeah. So next we got too bad Value Vinyl Steve's sick. He might be even sicker after we discuss this game. Lions at Vikings.
Oh, who do I got? I got the Vikes.
I think I picked Detroit. And I think that's because I come out on fire for the Vikings, thinking, man, this is a good team with a really tough defense, and their defense has been trash this year.
Yeah,
absolute trash. And now they've traded away. Oh wow, that was. I got Aretha. Oh yeah, I'm trying to. She tried to get on the desk and didn't quite make it.
Nice.
But now they traded Yannick Ngakoue, and I'm thinking, yeah, what now? Are you giving up? Because why would you trade him? Great pass rusher. So I can't. I don't know. I don't. We'll see if the Vikings are going to fold it or not.
Right.
In the meantime, you can't take the Lions lightly because if Stafford is able to play, and I don't know if he will be playing, that's life in COVID. He was COVID ineligible all week, but they said what I heard the other day was that he could potentially play Sunday. Now he's not going to be able to practice with the team.
Right.
How much that'll affect him, I don't know. But Stafford can sling it. So I picked the Lions because I just feel like until the Vikings show me that they're not going to just pack up the tents and go home. I'm still not going to. I'm not feeling the Vikings right now. I mean, because like I said, I really thought that defense was top notch, and then this year they've just been terrible. What do we got next? I'm on the wrong page here. We have got. Oh, this could be a game. Bears at the Titans.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Heck yeah. I got the Titans in that. I think the Bears. They got some good linebackers for sure. Khalil Mack is definitely a ball player, and but I think the Titans. I think with their tight end play, with the receivers they have, and with Henry, I think it's going to give that defense some fits.
Yeah. And then you never know how the quarterback play for Chicago is going to be.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why. If you, I guess for me, when I look at a ball game and I see a good solid team with sporadic quarterback play versus even a mediocre team with solid quarterback play, then the object of the game is still to score more points than your opponent. So
right.
So I just see the Titans with too many offensive weapons.
Oh yeah.
The Bears to keep up, but you never know if the Bears ball out. But they got to get some help, and nobody there has been consistent.
No. Now, what's your opinion on Tannehill? I know he played for your beloved Fins for a while.
Oh, I never had a problem with Tannehill from a performance standpoint. But I think people are constantly going, well, are y'all sorry that you got rid of Tannehill now? And it's like, no. I mean, we did what we had to do because the last several years that Tannehill was with us, he couldn't finish the season.
Right.
At some point, you got to have your quarterback play 16 games.
Yep.
And so, and I'm pretty sure there were 3 seasons. There was at least 2, if not 3 seasons that he ended with us on the bench because of injury. The last playoff game we had was against the Steelers, I believe, and a couple of years ago, and he was hurt. We had to go with Matt Moore.
Matt Moore, nice.
Yeah, and I'm not dogging Matt Moore because he's a solid backup. He helped the Chiefs a couple of years ago,
right?
But it back then, even the what people were saying about them was that Tannehill had all the talent, but he lacked pocket presence, so he'd get sacked all the time, and that probably contributed some to his getting hurt. Whereas Matt Moore had the pocket presence. He had all the mental things, but he just wasn't physically gifted enough to maximize everything in his head. I mean, he just didn't have the arm Tannehill had. He was a tough guy though. I mean, I remember him. I remember the Steelers busting him real good in the first half of that game, and he soldiered on. Tannehill, like I said, I had no problems with him, except that he couldn't stay on the field, and I felt like it was time. We had to make a move. You can't keep that spot. You can't stay married to a quarterback too long. If I felt like back in the early 2000s, that was part of the problem with the Wannstedt when he was with us. I never could figure out why would you stick with Jay Fiedler as long as you did.
Right.
We had a great defense, and then we had Ricky Williams.
Yep.
And then we had Jay Fiedler, who reminds me of Fitzpatrick in the way that, yes, Fiedler was a tough guy, Ivy League quarterback like Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
But he made questionable decisions with the football sometimes and threw picks when we didn't need him throwing picks.
Right.
And I don't know how long you stick with a guy like that as your starter. Why we wasted so many years with him? Because, our defense was loaded. Now, you're talking about Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Sam Madison. We were ready. And then Ricky, if you could get him coming out of that backfield. I especially liked it when he would run out in the flat and Fiedler dropped the pass off to him.
Oh yeah.
And you got Ricky out in the flat with some space so that he can build up momentum as he runs down the field. You know, he was a tough man to bring down.
Oh heck yeah.
But we had Fiedler and you know, and he made bad decisions. So I know it's quite a tangent, but that was kind of my
go back Tannehill, and then there you go, go to work.
But Tannehill, yeah, he I'm glad to see him doing well, and I always thought if he could stay healthy, he'd be a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think the Titans system suits him well for his QB abilities. I mean, because he can move in and out of the pocket and he can throw it. And, I think the way that they have it set up, I think it's very advantageous, for him.
Yeah. And maybe he's just developed the ability to be more aware in the pocket. And,
sure.
And be able to avoid some of the stuff that he was getting hit by early in his career. But, yeah, I always thought he had talent. Just gotta keep him upright.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see. So then the next game is the Panthers at Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs all day long.
Me too. If you're going to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Right.
And
they're saying McCaffrey should be healthy to go, but I don't know how much they're going to use him. I would use him sparingly, I would think, if he's not 100%.
He's got to get back into football shape.
Right.
I didn't realize, because I've never actually played the game,
Mm-hmm.
Never been on an actual team. But, I didn't even realize that even kickers have to be in game shape till I was listening to, you ever listen to, what is that dude's name? Pat McAfee? Used to be
sure.
punter for the Colts. He's got a podcast now, kind of,
mm-hmm.
On YouTube. And he was talking about, they were talking about Gostkowski. When Gostkowski had that horrible opening game this year, and they said, and McAfee said, he's had incidents where he's had to punt after not having played for a while, and said, it takes a while before your leg, you kick a few balls and you're done. You got to kind of build that back up. And,
for sure.
I think the same thing would be applicable for McCaffrey. I mean, how long has he been?
Yeah.
Has he played at all this year? He played in the early, maybe.
Yeah, he played early, then he got hurt. So, I can't remember what his injury was. I don't know if it was ankle or knee, but yeah, you got to be in football shape for sure. Yeah.
So I would think that he'd play sparingly. Even if he was at full steam, that's an upcoming team going up against the defending champs. And,
Mahomes. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are they're scary. Then we've got this. This could be a really sweet game. Seahawks at Bills.
Yeah, I picked the Seahawks, but I think the Bills. It's in Buffalo, right?
Right.
So it's at home. If they can play nearly mistake-free football, they might be able to get them.
Maybe. My opinion on the Bills has changed a little bit, kind of in the same way that it's changed on the Vikings. I thought the Bills had an exceptional defense.
Right.
They don't.
Yep.
If Josh Allen has really stepped up his game, and if he hadn't, they would not be in the position they're in. I mean, we ran in the second game of the season. We ran with them until Tannehill. No, Tannehill had a good game. That or not Tannehill, Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick had a good game. What did we do to drop that game? I can't remember, but we ran pretty close with them, and I thought we would be in a little bit of trouble just because of their. I can remember watching a little bit of Bills Patriots game last year, and watched their defensive backs give Brady all kinds of fits. But I'm not seeing that out of their defense this year. They really have relied heavily on Josh Allen. So I don't know. I'm picking the Seahawks because in the NFC, except for Rodgers, I mean, I think if we're talking MVP right now, I think it's between Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Wilson is just killing it.
Oh yeah,
and the Seahawks are a scary team. So, yeah, but either way, I mean, it could be a barn burner.
It could be, as long as your defense steps up, and you made some good points, because the Bills are going to have to play nearly a perfect game with their secondary, with their corners and their safeties, because Metcalf and Lockett, I mean, when they're on their game, they're on their games. Russell's going to find them. So,
yeah, the Bills. What's the weather forecast? They may be asking for some early snow or something to slow that Patriot or that Seahawks.
You never know in Buffalo, man.
They may ship some in to this game, try to give them an even field. Oh well, now we got the Broncos and the Falcons.
Let's see. It's in Atlanta, and I picked the Falcons. The Broncos aren't impressing me too much this year.
Yeah, the Falcons are a bit uneven. The Broncos. And the Falcons, they've actually won recently.
Yes, they have.
And they got out of their own way to do it. They've got talent. They can put some points on the board. Matty Ice can sling that rock. You're talking about Denver. Sorry, Atlanta. I'm talking about Atlanta's offense is potent.
Oh, okay,
They keep getting in their own way to almost comical. I mean, Gurley messes up by accidentally scoring a touchdown, cost them a game.
Oh man,
but
that's rough.
With the Broncos, you're right. The Broncos, they're not. Their offense worries me. I mean, they just. I don't know that you can count on them to put up a good offensive game week in and week out. And which is another mystifying thing. Why they don't? I would have, if I were the Broncos, especially once Manning left. That defense, man, was a beast. Why wouldn't you go out and get another veteran quarterback, and plug them in? And because you don't have defenses like that. You got an open window just for a short amount of time. Take advantage of it, but I don't know. Sometimes their front office moves just don't make sense to me. All right, so then we got the late games. We're talking Raiders at Chargers.
I got the Raiders.
Going with the Raiders.
That's it, man. I really didn't know what to expect from them this season, but I've kind of been pleasantly surprised. They've won some ball games I didn't think they would win.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about this. This could be a good game. I like some of the pieces that the Raiders have. That tight end of theirs, he's a monster.
Oh yeah,
Waller, is that his name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can play. There's no doubt about that. But I'm going with the Chargers. They're playing at home. Herbert's doing his thing.
Absolutely.
Looks like a Disney Channel sitcom star. But
he is pretty.
But he can play.
Heck yeah, man.
And I'm just gonna pick the Chargers here, and
Hey, man.
not now that I'm not. Again, I wouldn't put a lot of confidence points on it, but yeah, we're going with Chargers there. Okay, now we get into the meat of things. We've got the Dolphins at Cardinals.
As much as I love you, man, I went with the Cardinals. They're at home.
I can't.
You never know, Tua.
Yeah, well, I can't blame you because I think as I blank on the Cardinals quarterback name.
Oh, the young kid, Murray, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think
he's dynamic.
Yes, he is. He's a really good player. I think the Cardinals have less question marks. I mean, we've been playing. I think with the Dolphins, the defense is coming along. I think they're definitely playing better now than what they were early in the season. But it's Tua time, and there's going to be some bumps on the road.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of watching him to see how quickly he develops, and so you can't. I picked the Dolphins, and I put low confidence points on it on the site because I didn't want to. But that was a hard pick. I'm not going to lie, because I want the young man to do well, and I don't want to lose points if he does do well.
he's got a bright future, man. If he stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mixed bag against the Rams, but again, they didn't need him to do much, and it was probably good to keep him in check and just let him get some game experience and not worry about. I mean, the Dolphin fans on the website are just freaking out. I mean, it's like early in the season it was, why is Fitzpatrick playing? We need Tua in the game. Then they finally put Tua in, and everybody's yelling, well, Fitzpatrick didn't deserve that.
Right.
And then you watch him play against the Rams, and he didn't do terrible, but he didn't light it up either. And so now everybody's like, well, he's garbage. I'm thinking,
it's got to develop.
One game?
Right.
That's what we're going to give him is one game to show what he's got.
Yeah. He's going to develop. He's an athlete, man.
Yeah. And I like all the things that I see that he could potentially do. It's like I said on somewhere, I think in one of the Dolphin groups, I said, the problem with Fitzpatrick is he represents our ceiling. I mean, we're only going to be so good with him at quarterback.
Right.
Whereas with Tua, we have a lot of potential to discover. And even Fitzpatrick said he can make throws that I can't make. What I've seen from Tua is that he can also make reads that Fitzpatrick sometimes doesn't make.
Right.
I've seen. I think Fitzpatrick sometimes. The reason why he throws so many picks is he'll get locked in on wide receivers, whereas Tua, even at the college level, could show that he could look off defending.
Yeah, he could check them down. His first, second, third option.
And he could actually direct defensive backs to do what he wanted them to with his eyes.
Oh yeah.
And that takes some ability. And so yeah, I've got my Tua shirt on, so we're rooting for the kid. And but I won't lie, my picking the Cardinal or Dolphins over the Cardinals is a homer pick. There's no doubt about it.
For sure.
But it's one I gotta make right now while we have hope. We actually have hope.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that in a long time. So now from my team to your team.
Unlike you, brother, I picked Pittsburgh, and that kills me. It kills me to pick Pittsburgh. I hate them. But I got to be realistic, man. Cowboys are they're having a rough season.
Yeah.
At this point, there's, when you go to some of the fan sites and their chatter, there's conspiracy theories like, yeah, they're playing for, the first round pick, or they're playing for another quarterback, because of things going on with Dak. But, long story short, they're just not good on either side of the ball. And kind of what we touched on earlier with Pittsburgh, Ben's not who he was 10 years ago, but he's been freaking Roethlisberger still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got that high level, and it's always a nasty game when they play.
Yeah, yeah, and they are definitely riding a wave right now, and unfortunately, the Cowboys just don't have the manpower.
Right.
Because
on Yahoo, Cowboys are like 1.63% favored compared to 98.73. So I think they got it. Because they're playing. Because Cowboys are starting, I think, either a practice player or a fourth string quarterback. It's not going to be good.
You name that quarterback?
No, is it? No, I thought it was Gilbert. Last week was DiNucci.
DiNucci was last week.
Yeah, I think this week's Gilbert. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, see, so if a diehard Cowboy fan can't even really give me the starting quarterback,
right?
Steelers, yeah, you're done.
I'm not dead. Yeah,
you gotta hope that.
And it's at Dallas. They've played like garbage at home. I mean, it's just been insane.
Yeah. Of course, I've heard. Now, get this. I heard crazy talk. Of course, when we benched Fitzpatrick, was about the time that Dalton was playing.
Right.
There were Dolphin fans crazy enough in the Facebook groups saying, "Well, we could trade Fitzpatrick to the Cowboys for a high draft pick." And I'm reading this, and they're saying maybe a first or a second. And I thought,
oh man,
wow,
nope.
we need some drug testing in the forums because nobody. I mean, I can't imagine any circumstance possible that anyone. You're never going to even sniff the first or second round draft choice with Fitzpatrick.
No,
You might get a fifth. From a team that's really needing somebody, but you're not.
I know Jerry Jones is afflicted, but I don't know if he's that afflicted.
No, no. But that's some of the crazy talk that happens in Facebook football groups.
Oh man,
really a first or a second round draft pick. That must be a really nice land to live in where you can have that type of optimism. Because it's never going to happen. Never. Wow.
Yeah, I was trying to look up that quarterback.
And having a hard time finding them, I guess.
I'm having a hard time finding them. It's crazy, man.
That's not good. That's
not good. I'll look for him later. So I can be prepped tomorrow to look for him when he's playing.
Now we've got the Sunday night game, which could be a slobber knocker. We got the Saints at the Bucks.
Oh yeah, Drew Brees, Tom Brady.
Now, I'll tell you straight up, I took the Saints, and again, maybe my picks are being affected by my feelings. Because you know how I feel about Tom Brady, but at the same time, we are talking Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, I picked the Saints.
And Drew Brees is a dangerous man.
He's another one.
I and actually, I think Drew Brees is probably the most underrated quarterback of this generation.
I would agree 100% because he had a crazy season last year. He set some record or one or two records last year. He broke one of Manning's records. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but yeah, he's a great quarterback.
And I haven't really seen him slow down either. And so I definitely think in a situation where you've got two guys that if they got to sling it out, I like Breeze better than I do Brady.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, I would
again,
say so.
But again, we'll have to see how the whole teams play and which defense rises up to meet the occasion. Yeah, this is an important game, and I went with the Saints.
Yep.
Again, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's a lock, but because I think I'm not underestimating Brady and the Buccaneers because they played better than I thought they would. I kind of figured, because usually when you see guys go to another team this late in their career, all they're really getting is a weird picture in a uniform. They look odd in. If you think about like Joe Namath in a Los Angeles Rams uniform, or Franco Harris in a Seattle Seahawks uniform, or a number of other guys that tried to go to another team. The Peyton Mannings that can go from one team and win a Super Bowl to another team and win a Super Bowl that doesn't happen.
Very rare.
Yeah. So you usually just have some people, or like O.J. Simpson in a 49ers uniform.
Sure.
Man, that kind of stuff's just ugly. So I didn't think, I kind of thought this was much ado about nothing. Brady's done, but he's not. He actually has played well, and but yeah, we're going with the Saints there. And then this is one time I thought they were fixing it so that they could switch games around when they could see that one was going to be bad in a primetime position. Why in the world are the Jets playing on Monday night? They're at home against the Patriots. Now the only
I got the Patriots.
Me too, because the Jets are just horrible.
They're the Cowboys of the AFC.
Oh, they may be worse. I like your all's coach better than I do theirs. And he used to be ours, and I was glad to get rid of him.
Right.
If you look at Adam Gase, the offensive ranking, since he left as an assistant, I mean, he started at with the Dolphins at 27th in the league, and every year it's gotten worse until now the Jets are the worst offensive team in the league. The dude just doesn't have a clue. I mean, he can't. I couldn't figure out what the Jets saw in his performance in Miami to want to hire him in the first place.
Sure.
Though we have seen other coaches get fired and then go on to have big careers. People forget Bill Belichick got fired in Cleveland before he went on to the Patriots. But there was a little bit of a gap. I mean, he went after he coached the Browns, he went back and did some assistant work for Parcells, and then went to the Patriots.
Yeah, he had like a one team removed before he got there.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure you're right.
There was some bouncing around. I think Belichick was the Jets coach twice without ever taking the field as the coach. Yeah, and so there's usually a gap, but I couldn't see why. What did they see in Gase in Miami that would make them want to hire him? And
Yeah.
then at this point, why are you keeping him? I
Right.
mean, they're not doing anything. They might as well fire him and put an interim coach in there, and then go ahead and start their head coach search because they're not going to do anything. Um, and you never know. Sometimes an interim can come in, and we had that happen one year when our tight ends coach took over the team. I forget who got fired mid-season, but he took over the team the last part, and the Dolphins actually played really hard for him. Dan, oh, I'm not going to remember. It was Dan something. He looked like he was jacked up like an old tight end would be,
Right.
and but so I don't know why the Jets are even bothering to pay Gase. Um, and I'm not looking forward. I probably won't watch football Monday night.
Yeah, that's a
I
rough
don't
one to watch on Monday night, unless you're a fan of one of those teams.
right because the Jets stink and the Patriots really aren't that much either. The only reason
Yeah.
the Patriots are going to probably smear the Jets is because the Jets are so terrible.
Yep.
It's actually a pretty good game for the Patriots because Cam Newton needs to reset himself
Yep.
because he's not been playing well since he came back from the COVID.
Right.
And I heard some people speculating because he'd actually tested positive for COVID, and did the COVID actually take a toll on his health, and maybe that's why he's not playing quite so well.
Oh, sure.
But so hopefully, I mean, this is a good game to kind of get healthy and get some game under you before you have to really start playing real teams again. And so it's probably good for them, but it's terrible for us because I like to watch a good football game on a Monday night every once in a while.
On Monday night.
Yeah,
Sure.
and that's not that's not happening this week unless they bump one of the Sunday games to Monday for some reason.
Right. It's almost like a
So-
scrimmage.
Yeah, and who wants to see that? And let's see. Let's just peek over here. Yeah, the Monday night games are not going to be good for a while. The next week is Vikings Bears.
But historically, that's always a good game, though. It's kind of like those old games against the Cowboys and the Washington football team. If either one of them had bad records, that game was always good. So we might see something.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see anything good until the Monday before Thanksgiving when we get the Rams and Buccaneers on a Monday night. So I think that'll be a good game. I hadn't even looked at the Thanksgiving Day games this year. They probably
I haven't either.
They're gonna. Oh,
My Cowboys have got to be playing.
Yeah, the Redskins. I mean, oops. the
Washington football team.
The Washington football team. Man, that's gonna be terrible. And then you got Texans and Lions.
Yeah, the Lions always play too.
But now we do have the Ravens Steelers rematch.
Now that'd be great. That'd be a good game. And it's at Pittsburgh, you said, right?
Yeah. So we're set for that.
Is that the late game, I'm assuming?
That's the 8:00 game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have at least one decent. We should have one decent game.
I'll be on my second helping of Thanksgiving dinner when that game starts. So that's good.
Yeah, I hope both teams come out with a little bit of a attitude.
Oh, me too.
Because that's one of those rivalries where you kind of hope that they're going to come at one another a little bit.
Oh, I think they will.
Yeah. So, but that covers it for this week. Man, Chris, glad to have you in here.
Man, I'm having fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it really is fun, and I found out that I really like doing this with another person to bounce off of. As I definitely prefer that than to be on here alone
Oh,
uh,
sure.
doing it. And uh, I'm missing some of our guys that usually sit in the comments. Not getting much of that tonight. Maybe people are busy. I don't know, but we'll watch the. This will go up. This will go immediately to the on the front page to the live stream section, and then it'll show up in the morning as a video on the channel. So there'll be people that will come in and watch this from the beginning. And so if you're watching this on the repeat because you're not here live, we hope you enjoyed this and hope you come back and join us next week. Definitely like having my guys in the comment section and so I miss you guys and hope you're doing well. Hope this is a great week. Stay safe and we'll see you next Saturday night.
Peace. All right, brother. Thanks again. Love you, man.
Love you too.